Hey, what's up guys? Dr. Danny here with Athletes Potential. We're gonna go over 3 exercises you guys can do for your lower body if you're a runner to stay healthy and strong so you can keep putting miles in. So we're gonna start out with what's called a Spanish squat. So Jay's gonna show us how to do this here. You need a band for this. So he's gonna step into it. And the goal of this, we wanna have it behind your knees. You can load yourself with extra weight if you wanna do that like Jay is gonna do here. But the goal is we want to add some extra resistance on the back of the knee so that when you go to straighten up, you have to really use your quads to straighten your knee out, okay? So what we're going to do is going to go ahead and squat straight down to whatever depth you can comfortably go to, and then come back out of that. If you want to make this harder, you can throw a pause in the bottom. So if you squat down, pause, come back out, that's just increased tension, it makes it harder, but a really, really good thing to do for knee health, especially for your tendons. So if you're having pain in the front of your knees, this is a really good one to do because it's not very aggressive on the knee itself, but it really helps build a lot of strength in the front of the knees. You go ahead and relax for a second, Jake. So if you're having issues with like running downhill and your knees are starting to bother you, this is a great one to do for that. In Atlanta, tons of hills, so this is a really good one we have a lot of our clients do, okay? And as you go through these, really think somewhere in the range of like 6 to maybe 12 repetitions, depending on how much load you're using and how many pauses you're doing as you go through these suckers. So the next one will be what's called a Bulgarian split squat. So it's going to be a single leg strength exercise. So what he's going to do, you can use weight or no weight for this initially. If you've never done this before, I would recommend don't use weight. So he's going to put his foot up on a bench. And what we're going to do here is we're going to challenge just one leg as we squat down in this lunge squat pattern. Okay, so he's going to go ahead and lower himself down. The goal being we want to try to keep that trunk upright, nice and straight. We don't really want the knee to go too far forward over the foot. If you're going to where your heel starts to come up, you're too far forward. So we want to make sure that your heel is down and that you're driving straight back up. Okay, so go ahead and lower yourself back down. Good, and back up. Now, one thing you'll see here, those of you that have any sort of balance issues, that front foot will start to go crazy side to side, which is actually a really good thing. We're starting to gain that balance back in that leg. If you want to load this, you can do that and make this a little bit harder. So he's going to hold it in the opposing hand. So he's going to go ahead and lower himself down and then back up again. So this is a great one to do, a little bit harder than a Spanish squat. It's just single leg, we're challenging that. We're really good for it from a balance standpoint. The last one is what we call a Cossack squat or a lateral squat. Okay, so for this one, we're going to split out, we're going to widen out to really whatever your mobility limitations are. If you're really tight through your groin and your adductor, you're going to be a little more narrow. If you're flexible, you're going to go a little bit wider. And the goal here is we're going to squat to one side. We're going to challenge the knee on the side we're squatting on. We're going to challenge the groin and the adductor on the opposite side. So Jake's going to go ahead and squat down. So what he's going to do is he's going to get a little bit of a stretch on the side of the leg that he's not necessarily using to drive the movement. He's going to come on back up. And then go to the opposite side. Good. And then back up. So this, if he squats this way, go ahead and do this one more time. You should feel this on the adductor on this side. All right, so as you run, that's really the inside control to the knee. So we want to make sure that we're utilizing that. Go ahead and come back up. Go ahead to the other side one more time. And on the side that you're using primarily, it's really a lot of ankle, knee, and hip control that we're gaining. Okay, so one thing that happens with runners, they just run. That's it, right? So they're just like, I'll put more miles in. That's basically it. And maybe they do some variations of leg strength work, but what they're not typically doing is something bilateral like the Spanish squat, where you're using both legs, something single leg like a split squat variation or a Bulgarian squat that we're doing, and something that challenges your side-to-side movement, which maybe you think isn't all that important, but it's actually really, really important to maintain health in the hips and the knees as we're putting miles in because it stops excessive movement from happening. So make sure you're training these other variations. These are great to do. We do them a ton of people that come in here. Remember, somewhere between 6 to 12 reps. Don't go to where you're at like muscle failure if you're new to these things. Just go until you start to get a little tired, so your form starts to break down and stop and then move on to the next exercise. So try these out, add them in with your running, build some strong legs, and keep running out there.